Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers before the college football season ends. Now, Dabo has been a coach at Clemson for over a decade now. And for 5 years straight, him and Clemson competed for national titles. But ever since the 2020 season ended, Clemson just hasn't gotten back to national title contending status. And to me, there are three main components to why they aren't contenders anymore and why they have started on a downfall. And those three components consist of coaching, talent, and the transfer portal. Now, since coaching and talent to me on this list is interchangeable, I want to talk about the talent first. Now, we know since Dabo's tenure started at Clemson, he's had some great wide receivers, some good cornerbacks, some good defensive linemen, and two generational quarterbacks. Now, check out this graphic I made. This represents every player drafted from Clemson in that year's NFL draft. Now, this graphic is just representing the years that Clemson started to compete for national titles to last season. And if you notice, every year except for 2017 and 2021, Clemson had at least 5 players drafted in the NFL draft. Now, you also might see 2022 as an outlier also because it was 6 players drafted from that team, but this is where I talk about the talent. Now, when you look at all three of those years that you could say are the outliers in 2017, 2021, and 2022, they just didn't have the talent. Now, two major factors to why those teams weren't contenders are simply because of the wide receiver room and the quarterbacks being mediocre. Now, each of those teams all had wide receivers that didn't catch for over 1,000 yards, and they all had quarterbacks who struggled when it came to passing the ball. And now I want to take a look at the coaching side of things. Now, Dabo is notorious for keeping his coaching staffs around for a long time, as longtime offensive coordinators Jeff Scott and Tony Elliott were around for 7 seasons, and longtime defensive coordinator Brent Venables was around for 10 seasons. Now, this graphic shows the offense under Elliott and Jeff Scott during their tenure at Clemson, and it shows the 1 year where Elliott was full-time offensive coordinator after Scott left for a head coaching job. And this shows why I had coaching and talent at 1 and 2, and they was interchangeable because they kind of go hand in hand with each other. Now, the 2 worst years of this offense came when the talent wasn't up to par. 2017, they had Kelly Bryant at quarterback, no 1,000-yard wide receiver. 2021, they had DJ Uiagalelei at quarterback, a struggling offensive line, and no 1,000-yard wide receiver. And after Elliott left, they hired Brandon Streeter, who was not good, and they got fired after his first season because he was such an abysmal play caller and he couldn't set up his players and put them in the right position to succeed. Now, this graphic shows Brent Venables and how great he was as a defense coordinator at Clemson, but it was after he left for Oklahoma that the defense started to show lack of discipline and started to get a lot of penalties. As in 2022 under Wes Goodwin and Mickey Kahn, the Clemson defense averaged 6 penalties per game and gave up 59 penalty yards per game. And when you look at this coaching staff, a lot of this coaching staff is inexperienced when it comes to coaching at the collegiate level. As for lots of these coaches, this is their first collegiate level coaching job at the Power 5 level. And when you have coaching that isn't up to par and talent that isn't up to par, you're going to face a lot of regression. Now, one way to combat this would be to use the transfer portal. But Dabo Swinney does not like to use the transfer portal. Dabo didn't know he can use the transfer portal until 2022, and his first transfer portal player ended up being Hunter Johnson, who was not good, but he was a former Clemson player, so Dabo recruited him anyways. The next year, he recruited Paul Tyson, another quarterback from Arizona State, who also isn't going to get no playing time. And when you look at the weaknesses of these past 2 Clemson teams where you have seen regression, it has been the wide receivers. We're used to seeing DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Williams, Sammy Watkins, Adam Humphries, and other good wide receivers come through Clemson, but that just hasn't been the case. Some wide receivers since 2022 to enter the transfer portal consist of Jordan Addison, Keon Coleman, A.D. Mitchell, and Dorian Singer. All game changers, all good wide receivers, and Dabo hasn't recruited any one of them. Now, I would mention how Dabo doesn't like NIL, but it's something he has to use now, so I really won't get too much into it. Now, I'm not saying that Clemson won't compete for no more national titles under Dabo Swinney, but I will say it will be harder with the direction that they're going into right now. But anyways, comment below what you think about Clemson's downfall and what you think they're going to do in the future. And hit that like and subscribe button for more content. I'm out. Peace.